Hi all! For this week's discussion, I chose to listen to a song from the hit Broadway show Dear Evan Hansen. The song I chose was For Forever, sung by Ben Platt. So a little background for anyone who doesn't know what Dear Evan Hansen is, the synopsis is provided by Broadway.com. A letter that was never meant to be seen, a lie that was never meant to be told, a life he never dreamed he could have. Evan Hansen is about to get the one thing he's always wanted, a chance to finally fit in. To set the stage a little bit for this song in particular, Evan is having dinner with the grieving family of a fellow student. His name is Connor Murphy, who had committed suicide. At this point, the family believes that Evan and him were friends, and throughout this dinner, Evan kind of fabricates this day that they never actually had. And this lie, essentially, that he fabricates from this song and scene sets the stage and tone for the rest of the show, because throughout the show you see this lie grow bigger and bigger and out of control until it kind of blows up in his face. So for this mindful listening activity, I did it in my bedroom at home. I had the door closed, made sure that all my electronic devices were a little kind of far away from me and on silent so I would not get distracted. So let's just jump right in. So one thing you notice at the very beginning is that there is a somber undertone, and to me that's just kind of setting the stage. I kind of imagine it almost as if, clouds are clearing, as like you see on the movie, clouds are clearing and you're going into this flashback. But one thing I never noticed when I had listened to the song previous times was that these somber undertones are actually there throughout the entire song. Even though the song, you mostly hear the beautiful melody that's kind of very upbeat, there are select moments that you still continue to hear these undertones in there. And to me, that's just kind of representing the fact that he is fabricating this lie. Everything he is telling this family is not based in reality at all. And I just think it's kind of, they're representing the fact that he is lying, and obviously in situations like that, it's not okay to lie in any way. So that's one thing. And also another thing that you hear in the beginning, that is something that Ben Platt did beautifully, is that as he begins to sing, you kind of hear hesitation in his voice, kind of stringing things along. Kind of, he says, end of May or early June, like this picture perfect afternoon we shared. And as you hear it, you kind of do hear this kind of like elongated, kind of stretched out tones as he sings this. And to me, that just represents, him showing that his character is formulating these lies, that he's just kind of starting to string them along, kind of starting to figure out, okay, so I'm going to say this and this, until as the song progresses, you hear him become more fluid and cohesive, because he kind of finally, I guess, knows where his lie is going and what he's going to do with it. So then moving on to the middle climax section of the song, you hear, focusing on the music part, you hear the music get louder, get faster, get more excited, and you also hear it in his tone and how it kind of changes, and it's almost, to me, represents Evan Hansen, the character, spiraling kind of out of control, getting excited, and he's talking about he has one foot after the other, one branch to another. I'm climbing higher and higher, and I think that's excitement. And because I've done research on this show, and in this section that I read, one foot after the other, one branch then to another, I climb higher and higher, I climb till the entire sun shines on my face, is actually rooted in truth of an experience that Evan had and that you kind of learn about earlier on in the show. And I think it kind of represents this spiraling feeling that you get from both him and the music, is that him kind of thinking of what could have been, what could have happened, or kind of how he would have wanted things to happen. in that scene that he kind of roots in truth, essentially. And then at the very end, he has this line that he says, "All we see is light, 'cause the sun burns bright. We could be all right for forever this way. Two friends, true friends, on a perfect day." And I just think that kind of seals the deal for the fact that, you know, he is lying. They were never friends. Both of them were very much loners and didn't really have that connection. And as I said before, I feel like this is him kind of kind of trying to make sense of this lie that he just told this family, but also kind of thinking about what could have been. You know, he could have been friends, they could have been true friends, and this entire story he fabricated could have been a reality that they experienced. And then going back to the music, you have kind of an upbeat, optimistic music, the entire melody, very beautiful. And I think that represents, as I said, and the way Ben Platt sings this, is that I think it kind of represents that we all long to have that human connection with others, to share experiences with. And I think that music, even though he's lying, he's imagining what could have been, and I feel like that really hits home for everyone because we all long for that human connection. And then as I was doing the reading, I really noticed how this song goes into the idea of a crucible and how that really is a test of your character and it's transformative. Evan takes this suicide and then this story he fabricates to his family, and it is a test of character for him because he fabricates this lie that he has to continuously string along throughout the entire show, and he has the power to change his life's meaning. He finally has the chance to fit in and be someone he wasn't before, be the better version of himself that he saw, and I think that's really important. But at the same time, when this lie blows up in his face at the end, it's super important because it also changes the fact that he realizes it's okay to be him. At the very beginning of the show, he starts with, "Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be your good day, and here's why." And at the end, you hear him say, "Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be a good day because today you are you, and that's enough." And I think that's so important because he realizes that, as Oprah said in this book and in the interview that is shared with in chapters, that you're responsible for your own life. And being yourself is okay, and it's probably the most important thing that you can do. And being yourself is how you're truly going to become a better person, a better leader. And it is a test of character to be yourself when you don't feel like you fit in. But at the end of the day, you'll be a better person for it. So one thing that I think surprised me about these mindful listening activities is the fact that you miss so much even though you're constantly listening to them. So for example, like with the song For Forever, I've heard this song I don't even know how many times at this point. Like I know the words by heart, and there are details that I never noticed. Like I mentioned the somber undertones that you hear throughout the entire song. I never paid attention to that until I did this activity of just focusing in on the song. I thought it was just something that was at the beginning because it's the very first thing you hear. Or like, for example, the different activities that are linked into this module, I did the bird one, and that you focus on the different, whether a bird is making a song, a call, or it's an alarm sound that they're making. I never noticed that. To me, any sound a bird made was just a song, but I realized, no, I've heard each of these in different occasions. I just never noticed or paid attention. So I guess that's the most surprising thing. You miss so much even though you feel like you're paying attention to things in life all the time. So I guess lesson learned, be a better listener. So thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.